let me take you back in time to the moment that King David brought the Aron Bris Hashem, the Aron Kodesh, from the house of Oved Beit Edom to Ir David, and he celebrated with the Jewish people and the Navi in Shmuel Beis, Perek Vav, Shmuel Beis, Samuel 2, Perek Vav, the 6th chapter, Pasuk Tezvav, Pasuk Tezayin 16 says as follows: V'haya Aron Hashem ba Ir David, and the Aron Kodesh of Hashem came here to Beit David, and we're standing here in the palace of King David. Michal bas Shaul, and David HaMelech's wife, the daughter of Shaul, nishkafa b'arachalon, she looked out from a window, perhaps right here in this palace, as she was walking up, celebrating with the Aron, dancing in front of the Aron Kodesh to bring it here to Ir David. Vateres HaMelech, and she saw the king, Vateres HaMelech David, mefazez umechaker lifnei Hashem, vativez lo beliba. And she saw King David leaping and dancing before Hashem in ecstasy, and she became contemptuous of him in her heart. Vayaviu es Aron Hashem, vayatzigu also bimkomo, and they took the Aron of Hashem, the Ark of Hashem, they placed it in its place here near David, besocha ohel, in a special location, special tent, asher nata lo David, that David set aside for that purpose. Vayal David olos lifnei Hashem ushlamim, and David HaMelech brought up elevation offerings before Hashem and peace offerings. When David finished bringing up the elevation offering and peace offerings, he blessed the people with the name of Hashem, Master of Legions. He distributed to all the people, to the entire multitude of Israel, man and woman alike, to each person one loaf of bread, one portion of beef, and one container of wine. Then all the people left, everyone to his home. They had a masiba, they had a siyum, they had a celebration, and everyone received food from the king, shirayim from the king. And then it says, Vayashav David levarech es beisoi, and David came to bless his house. Vateitze Michal bas Shaul likras David, vatomer, and Michal, the daughter of Shaul, the wife of King David, went out to greet him. Vatomer, sarcastically she said to him, Ma nichbad hayom melech Yisrael, asher nigla hayom le'enei amos avadav, ki galos niglos achad harekim. And she said, how honored was the king of Israel today, who is exposed today in the presence of his servants, maidservants, as one of the boors would be exposed. She accused him of exposing himself physically and spiritually as he danced and leaped before the honor of Hashem. She thought it was unbecoming of the king of Israel to dance in such a way and to behave in such a way. And King David answered him and says, Vayomer David el Michal lifnei Hashem asher bachar bi me'avich, I danced before Hashem who chose me instead of your father. Umikol beiso, from all his house, litzavoso, see, to command me, nagid al am Hashem al Yisrael, to be the leader of the Jewish people. V'sachachti lifnei Hashem, and because of this, and I brought the Aron Hashem to the Ir David, I celebrated this moment before Hashem. Unekalosi od mizos, and he said, and I shall behave even more humbly than this. Unekalosi od mizos, va'isi shafal be'enai, and I will be more humble in my own eyes. V'im ahamahos asher amarta imam ikavda, and I will behave even more humbly than this. And I shall be lowly in my eyes among the maidservants of whom you spoke. Among them will I be honored. And then it says, Michal bas Shaul lo haya la yalad ad yom mosa. Michal, daughter of Saul, because of this, because of her admonition of the king, her embarrassment of the king, her admonition and her looking down upon the king, had no child until the day of her death. She died in childbirth. What does this mean? When King David danced before the Aron Hashem to bring it to Ir David, he danced with such deep dvekus, such deep ecstasy of connection to Hashem, that he was so enthralled, so in rhapsody with Hashem, such in dvekus, that his dancing was a deeper thing than dancing. It was a dancing of dvekus, a dancing of connection to Hashem. His wife Michal found his behavior to be abhorrent, and she said, "Is this how a king of Israel behaves? Ke'achad harekim, like one of the empty commoners." Reiki means rake, empty. You're acting like an empty commoner. David answers, "Unekalosi od mizos, I would gladly humble myself even further in honor of Hashem." Kalosi means kal, lighter or humbler. I will be more kal, more light, more humble, more modest before Hashem in the way I serve Hashem, even more than you've seen today. One of the Zkanim of the Ger dynasty, and this is I heard this from my Rebbe, Rav Moshe Shapiro Zatzal. When he was a young man, a young boy, when he was 10 years old, he heard a Ger Zokin, an elderly Ger who heard this from the Ger Rebbe, said the following: "What does it mean that she was accusing him of?" Michal was accusing King David of such ecstasy and such devekus that he was ke'achad arekim, that he emptied his essence. He was not an empty bore, rather he emptied his soul, so much so there was nothing left to show. He emptied his soul, his essence, so much so that he revealed too much of himself before the maidservants of the Jewish people. And by revealing, she said, by revealing too much of your soul, you reveal too much of your inner world. There's nothing left to reveal. She accused him of emptying his soul so much that he cut himself off from the well springs of connection to Hashem. Thereby he could no longer lead. If he was disconnected from Hashem, he gave everything he had, and there was nothing left within himself. He revealed too much of an inner self, then there was nothing left inside him. David responded, the king responded, listen to what he said. "Do you really think I revealed my entire self here today, dancing before Hashem, bringing the Aron Bris Hashem to Ir David? Do you really think I gave everything I had? I have many, many, many deep layers of connection to Hashem, and I only revealed the tip of the iceberg. You don't know who I am. You don't know how deep my connection is to God. You accuse me of revealing everything. You don't know me. You don't know the depth that I have for Hashem. I spent many, many years in the pastures, accused by my brothers of being illegitimate and cast away for 28 years. And now at the age of 30, I became king. And I have great depth and connection. I wrote Tehillim. I connect with God in a deep way through my pain and through my suffering and through the suffering of the Jewish people. I connect to Hashem in a very deep way that you don't understand. And my soul does remain hidden. The essence of my soul is hidden. There are only a small amount of my soul that I reveal today in the ecstasy and devekus I dance before Hashem. But my essence, my true self, remains hidden. It only belongs to Hashem. I only revealed a small dimension of my true self, but the rest remains quietly hidden and connected to Hashem in deep, silent dvekus. What does this mean? The inner part of any of our avoda, the inner part of our personal service of God, must remain within. We cannot reveal all of ourselves, all of our inner thoughts, all of our inner yearnings, all of our inner avoda, our working on our midos. That's an internal process. It belongs within ourselves. We have to be able to access that as a kol demama daka, a thin, silent voice within ourselves. When we have a thought, an idea, a chiddush, let's not reveal it so quickly. Work on it. Rav Hutner Zatzal said, a person does not grow from what he eats. He grows from what he digests. When you think of an idea in Torah, percolate it, absorb it, think about it. Do something called hitbonenut, self-reflection, depth, bina, davar mitoch davar. Enter into it, think about it, reflect upon it. Think about it. Rav Moshe says many times, Rav Moshe Shapiro Zatzal, my Rebbe, said, we have to think about it, reflect upon this, an idea, work on it, walk on the streets, think about it. Think about it during davening, during Shemon Esrei, in a moment of reflection. Work on yourself. This is an inner personal, quiet avoda that no one else can have. The inner yearning of a person for Hashem is your own. It belongs only to you. The inner working of our midos, working on our midos, belongs only to you. It must remain hidden in a silent voice within ourselves. It has to be a thin, small voice within ourselves that is shared with no one. Why is this important? Because this inner silence gives us an inner repose, an inner tranquility, an inner serenity that nobody else enters into this space within me. It's a private space between me and God. It's my Kodesh HaKodoshim. It's my Holy of Holies. It's my Bein HaKruvim. It's the empty space between the Kruvim. Bilvavi Mishkan Evne. Within my heart there is a Mishkan. There is a Shechina. There is a dwelling place of God within my heart where I connect with God, I yearn for God, I speak with God, I have hisbodedus with God, aloneness with God. That is my own personal avoda. And David HaMelech was telling us that he was not revealing everything. He was revealing only a part of himself. But the real essence of himself, the real avoda, yearning for Hashem, remained within himself. And therefore, we have to learn from this, that we can change, we can access this particular part of ourselves that nobody else can enter. When we say we're never alone, Hashem is with us, it means in this place. No one else can enter this place. Not your spouse, not your sister, not your brother, not your children, not your Rebbe. But it has to be a unique place within yourself of your own personal, unique self, which connects with God. That's what David Melech was teaching us. And therefore, that place is a safe place within ourselves. It's an empty space between the Kruvim that belongs only to us. And there we can find peace. If we're all looking in our lives for inner peace, inner tranquility, it is there within the inner recesses of our inner self, our inner serenity, our inner thoughts, our inner dreams and yearning, must remain hidden, must remain within ourselves as an emotionally safe place. Nobody else can enter, only you and Hashem. That's called dvekus, that's called connection with Hashem, and that's your unique connection with Hashem that no one else has. That's why you came into this world. You came into this world to develop that personal connection with God that only you can develop, to bring out kvod shamayim that only you can do, and therefore it must remain unique to you, alone with you. And that aloneness is not a lonely. That aloneness within yourself is not loneliness, but it is uniqueness within yourself to bring out your unique pathway. Because this, you came into this world to bring out that kvod shamayim which only you can reveal. And that must be within your heart, within your soul, within your inner mind and tranquility. That's the place where you work on yourself. That's where the place where you meet God. That place is Bein HaKruvim within yourself. That place remains hidden. It's a kol demamadaka, a thin, small voice within yourself.